Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. It's kind of dark out, isn't it? It sure feels dark to me this year. It's such a strange way to celebrate. Such a strange time. And yet here we are on Christmas Eve. The light is coming, though. The light is coming. As we celebrate in this strange year strangest of years, let us remember that the light is coming. Usually about this time, it would be full of people, whether it's the 4 o'clock, whether we would do the wave or make it rain, or sometimes we're quiet. We're at the 8 o'clock with the beautiful music, the prelude, or the simple right one, 11 o'clock. But it's so different this year. But the light is coming. And I would like to share the beauty of this space with you. The Altar Guild has done an incredible work, as you can see behind me, but I'd love for you to see all around. So it's gorgeous, the church in all her glory, and yet something's missing. You. More than ever, I am aware that the church is not a building. It is a people. It is a movement. It is an action. And this year, I am missing that deeply. And yet I am reminded that while we can't necessarily do church, we can definitely be church. We are clothing people who are naked. We are feeding people that are hungry. We are sheltering those who are without homes. This work is going on all around us. The good people of this community, whether they call themselves Christian or not, are reaching forth their hands in love to this community. It's a year in which I have seen and heard things that I don't know if they weren't happening or if I just wasn't paying attention. Because one thing that I am aware of this Christmas is that I am paying attention. I'm not preoccupied by the trappings. I am focused on the work of the gospel. And so as we think about being the church, let's go back to that first Christmas. Because I think a lot of us, myself included, have said, this is the hardest Christmas ever. And it is really difficult to not be able to be with people that we want to be with, to be able to be in our community worshiping together. It is difficult and it is challenging. But let's go back to that first one. Mary and Joseph. Think about what was going on with them. A word that has risen in our staff. Nathan has really shared his insights with me on this word of resilience. When I think of that first Christmas, think of the resilience of Mary and Joseph. The faith they must have had. You know the story. Unwed teenage mother gives birth to the Savior of the world. And the only people that notice it are foreigners who followed a star. What? That kind of faith. But the resilience. And one thing about resilience, it's not necessary when things are easy. When things are easy, you don't need resilience. And yet the resilience of the Christmas story of people not giving up, of saying yes to God. Unlikely people ordinary people doing extraordinary things. I have seen this resilience in our community with this staff, a virtual pageant. Are you kidding me? And yet, light breaks through. Common Table, happening every Thursday since March. Last Thursday, in the midst of a snowstorm, handing out almost 50 meals. Resilience to do this thing called the gospel. This thing that is love. That's the Christmas story. That love isn't fragile. It is resilient. And it takes work. And it is sweet work that we are given to do. This year, I miss you. I miss you with a longing that I can't really describe. And yet I pray that this longing I have will not be wasted. It will not just be some Hallmark card of, oh, I miss you. But I hope that this yearning, this longing takes root in me and reminds me of the great gift of this community. So that when we are all back together, please know we are going to celebrate. We are going to play that organ as loud as we can. And we are going to sing and we are going to dance. And please know we are going to hug. And when we do that, I hope that this resilience that has been building in us, we don't forget that our true call this day, every day, isn't to necessarily do church, but it's to be the church, to share what we have with others so that we may be filled through our service, to love one another with fearless love, with reckless abandon, to care for the least, the lost, and the last, to be there for one another. I hope that this longing that I have does not dwindle, that I don't forget. But this night I'm asking you, if you notice me forgetting, please remind me. The light is growing. Let us lean into it. Thank you for your resilience, for your love, and your incredible willingness to be the church. Merry Christmas.